Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I have got game number 3 of this best of 5. It's ace point for, of course, Azubu-san, who has won game number 1 and 2. Game number 2 was incredibly epic, I must say. Lots of back and forthing, but wow, DRG just ain't able to make stuff work. So we are here spawning on Derelict Watcher, the cool map with the engines that go the wrong way. And up in the top right position, spawning as the blue Protoss player, it is San. And his opponent down in the bottom left, the red Zerg, none other than Dong Rei Gu. Yeah, I like this map, mainly because of this fountain. This is a really cool fountain. I want one in my garden. Maybe not to scale because this is blatantly huge, and it would probably be like, if that's a probe, I know probes aren't particularly big, but like that seems like a massive fountain. But yeah, it'd be quite cool to have. There's also cool stuff on this map, like for example little holograms down here. They're quite cool to see. You've got this neat little thing around at the side. Where's some other cool things? You've got these look awesome. I love these. And also a sentry, apparently a hologram of a sentry just sitting there, as you do. Now, Sam is playing things a lot differently to game number 1 and 2 because he has got a pylon down there on the low ground, and that means that he's going to be getting down a forge, or potentially even an Nexus first. It depends how brave he's feeling. But yeah, he's going around saying, oh, okay, well, DRG, just chilling there. Oh, look at this probe micro. Oh, probe, if you get a drone kill, I'd be very impressed with you. He's trying to be as annoying as possible, but now Dong Rei Gu has to react. But reacting here means that, really, Sam just saying, well, I'm safe. I'm going to go Nexus first because I'm brave like that. Going to come down. Is he going to get the block? No, he won't because DRG manages to throw down the hatchery in time. That would be nice if the block came down, but just confirming that the hatchery's there just makes things all safe. We should see a couple of Zerglings in about the next 10 seconds once this spawning pool finishes, just to deal with the probe to make sure really no sneaky shenanigans would be occurring. Because remember, DRG hasn't scouted yet. His Overlord takes quite a while to get over here. He doesn't know whether it's a Forge or Nexus first, or if it's a Gateway expand like we saw in the first 2 games, and that leaves a lot of question marks for DRG, and he doesn't want question marks, he wants certainty so he can react appropriately. The Gateway now getting down here as well. We see the no Zerglings as of yet. The first 2 are on their way, but only 2. So just a little reaction, just enough to kill off a probe, but definitely not enough to counterattack. So that Forge first, sorry, the Nexus first, going to be very, very good opening for San. And really now we need to make sure that since it's been scouted, which it now has, that the third gets thrown down really within the next 20 seconds. And drone already getting pulled down there, ready to do that. DRG knows how to react to this. It's back to the standard meta, back to the way that Zerg players are used to playing for a long time, which is get a super quick third up against the Forge fast expansion and everything will be a-okay. So this third should come down in about 4 minutes 15, give or take a second, or exactly on the second, because that was boss mode like that. And yeah, I'd say that getting that third down at 4:15 is a little bit later than you'd want against the Nexus first, but there was no real alternative because DRG wasn't able to scat it down any quicker than that. So this is now looking to be a very normal mid-game, and I say that tentatively because things do have a habit of going a bit wrong, but at least until the Cybercore's finished and we see some tech choices, nothing too manic could occur from at least San's side, and it's very unlikely that anything crazy would happen from DRG's side, mainly due to not being able to break this wall, to be honest. He'd need a big shove to be able to get through there, and it's just an unlikely thing to do because it's a massive all-in, and if you're an ace game, it's unlikely that you're going to go for an all-in. Unless, of course, you have got absolute balls of steel, which some players do have. In an ace game, I would just deteriorate so badly. I would not be able to cope. I'd miss things, and ooh, look at this, sparkly. I get distracted by things by looking at sparkly things because that is how I roll when I look around the map. Because I'm so used to casting that when I play, I also get distracted. Like, I'll watch things. Like, I'll watch fights because I'm so used to doing it when I'm casting. And when I'm playing, I'm like, oh, I didn't macro behind this. But it's okay because I won anyway. And then I suddenly realize, oh, I won that fight, but they macroed and now they're killing me. And then I'm a sad panda because no one likes sad pandas. Happy pandas, on the other hand. If you haven't watched this video, by the way, YouTube search after watching this, pandas going on slides, or pandas on slides. Watch that and your day will be made infinitely better. You can't not be happy about seeing pandas on slides. Now, that Overlord surviving with 2 health, can he get away? The Stalker's gonna literally come and chase him down now. The Overlord, this is like a race to the death at the moment. The Stalker, where is he going? Okay, Stalker's on his way forward. Overlord's still trying to creep. Overlord. Stalker coming out past the Zerglings. He's like, I want this kill. It's going to be so close, but I think the Overlord is going to just make it. And yeah, the Stalker is like, oh, I failed. Poor Stalker. He just wanted the kill. Anyway, Robotic Facility getting out a Warp Prism. So this is quite a cool play. It's going to be 4 gates plus that Warp Prism there. Could be a sentry drop into the main. Would be very effective on this map. You can just come waltzing your way in through here. Drop all the stuff off and get the Force Swords. But a good number of Overlords just chilling around. Do have vision. Only 2 sentries in there for the time being. Has this been spotted by anything? The Zerglings saw it for like a split second. But I don't know if they saw it for long enough in order to react. That's a good question if they did or not, but looks like we don't have more units coming through yet. A couple more Zerglings have come out, but now they see that Warp Prism, they are going to be able to react to it. Quick little wave of Warp Ins, more Zealots are on their way through. The sentries need to drop down a few force fields just to keep themselves safe. Do get picked back up again, and with this many Zerglings in position, well, Santa says, nah, not worth it. Gonna try and play it a little bit more safely. The Stalker coming forward. Gonna try and pick apart one of these Overlords. Should be able to do so, which will be a little bit annoying. And then quickly picking up everything and getting back out of there. Free damage is always good damage to do. Back at home, double Stargate. Follow up from this. So this is a really quite a cool strategy. Probably gonna be Voidways. Could potentially be Mass Phoenix, but that's a bit of a trolley build that can work. But you just need to have ridiculously good control. Roach is being used for the first time in this series as well by DRG. Every other game, remember, he went for Ling Hydra and it didn't really work out for him. So he's varying things up. And it looks like Instacaster Curse, 2 Stargates, double Phoenix on their way through. And that was always going to occur, wasn't it? When I said it was going to be Voidways, it was always going to be Phoenix. So in comes the Warp Prism now. A couple of Roaches just chilling here, being like, well, maybe we can pick off any units that drop out, and they certainly could, and that would make them very, very happy. A couple of Spines also coming down, but for the moment, these Phoenix not being shown. They're just being hidden back. Could definitely catch DRG off guard if it wasn't for the fact that his Hydrogen was already on its way through. So what has DRG actually seen? If we take a quick look at his vision, he doesn't know about the Robotic Facility, doesn't know about these Stargates, doesn't know about the gateways. Really all he knows is that there is a Robo, because obviously there's a Warp Prism there. And he knows that there's a decent number of gateways, at least 4, because he's seen 4 units warping in simultaneously. What he doesn't know about yet, though, are these Phoenix, and they're about to come in, and they could act as a nice little bit of a shock. There's also the Robotics Bay coming down, so Colossi going to be showing quite early on in this game, which could be pretty fun to see. These Zerglings still running about, want to go and check to see if there's a third. The Overlord is there, so generating creep means that it's very unlikely that there'll be a third base, but it's the Speedlings coming up the ramp that's going to be a little bit concerning now. The Zealots, the Stalkers, are going to be able to hold them off. The Phoenix still haven't been seen. We go past the engine, which is pointing the wrong way. And yeah, these Phoenix, are they going to be able to do much damage? The answer is yes, they will, because there is not a single Spore Crawler. The Queen could get annihilated very quickly, but not even bothering with that, just saying, let's pick up all of the drones. Meanwhile, Zealots and Zerglings are going to be duking it out sometime soon if those Zerglings do decide to move forward. A Spore coming down, but already we see that Sand managing to kill 8 workers, which isn't a huge number, but it's a decent amount. He also saw the Spire. And this is quite an interesting thing now, because when you know that there's this many Phoenix already, you can't really go Mutalisk. It would be a very strange decision to do so, and that means that it could be a little bit annoying. Oh, 1 Phoenix goes down there flying over the Mutalisks. That was a bit of a misstep by Sandburn. He's coming around towards the main base. There is a Spore there and a Queen, but remember, there's 5 Phoenix. They can do a lot of damage very, very quickly, and that's not something that's going to be too good to see. The Mothership Core desperately trying to sneak back to the safety of the main base. We'll be able to. Triggers Photon Overcharge as well. Now remember, the Overlord blocking the third has been taken out, but the creep takes a while to recede, and this poor Stalker that probably did the deed is now getting taken out. The Warp Prism is now there, takes out the Queen. Good little Zealot Warping, dealing a huge amount of damage. Units are trying to come back up here, but the Phoenix will be able to lift the Hydralisk one at a time. These Zealots, dealing a surprisingly large amount of damage, are going to be able to knock out this hatchery. The Lair's down at the natural, thank goodness, so that's not going to go down. But where are all of the units? They're trying to make their way back. A single Spore Crawler being a bit of a pain, but more Zealots getting warped in. More drones getting lifted. This hatch 100% down. 4 Zealots getting saved. Dex is going to come down and say, ooh, I've just found another base. I guess I'll come and try and deny this. And probably can manage to deny it, actually, because these units all up in towards the main. Still dealing with some Zealots there. Good amount of damage already done. The cancel does go down. And that suddenly means that DRG is in a very dangerous spot where he's only on 2 bases. Up against the 3, or soon to be 3, of San. And if San secures this third, at the same time the third comes up, it puts a lot of pressure on Dongwei-gu in order to try and take a fourth, to stay that base up, or deal a huge amount of damage. He might go for a big counterattack, but these Phoenix still being very proactive in picking everything off. Moving in, are going to see that, yep, the Spire definitely finished, so I can't really do too much, but I need to try and keep the Phoenix alive in case Mutalisks were to be coming out. Now, the other thing that's worth noting as well is the Corruptors are about to hit the field. That's going to be a great move, apart from the fact there's already quite a few Void Rays. There's 4 Void Rays, and I don't believe the DRG has seen them as of yet. Otherwise, these Corruptors may not have hit the field in quite such a numerous amount, because they are armored, remember, and therefore Void Rays start shredding through them very easily. The Hydra still being a bit of a threat. Upgrades are 1-1 on both sides, but only +1 missile attack, not +1 melee, so the Zergling is not benefiting from it. 2 Colossi as well, dealing some nice damage. This is where we see lasers to the max. Colossi and Void Rays start tearing through everything fairly simply. The third, or should I say main, is only just coming back up now for DRG. The third is up and running for San. He just hasn't transferred any probes over there quite yet, but I expect that he will be doing so fairly soon. He's still getting out a couple more Void Rays, still getting out a couple more Colossi, but he's got a very scary army. Both players around the 170 mark. San actually slightly ahead in supply, but down a little bit in terms of the workers, but that will probably change once he starts trying to saturate up this third base. And remember, the fourth needs to get taken very, very soon for DRG if he wants to stay in this game, because he needs that base advantage just for the better income, because currently he's trading just, well, not quite half, but pretty close to half the resources of that of his opponent in the engagement so far, and that's really not what he's going to want to be seeing. We've got the Phoenix still running around, but a good number of Corruptors just means that they're probably going to get taken out without too much of a hassle, which does mean that there's the potential, albeit a very slim one, of a Mutalisk transition coming down from DRG, but when his gas income has been a bit low for a while, he's not really banking too much up. It looks like he's just going to be going for a big shove into the front. Now, this is where DRG has to make it work. If he goes now, he's got to end this, but how many Void Rays are there? There's 6 down on the field, up against those 14 Corruptors, not too many Stalkers, but remember, the Colossi are the big damage dealers, especially against the Hydras and Zerglings. There's a couple of Roaches there. DRG getting pretty much the best attack angle he could hope for. Huge concave there. Prismatic alignment has now been triggered. There was a lot of damage being done on both sides. We see that at least 2 of those Colossi still staying up. Only 1 now available, but the Void Rays have torn through all of those Corruptors, and now it's just this ground army, and it's not going to be enough. With ease, we see there that San just tears through it, and that means that he takes this series 3-0 against Dongwei-gu, which I think very few people would have expected. San's a very good player, but so is Dongwei-gu, so a 3-0 there, a little bit shocking. But remember, if you enjoyed this series, you should definitely like the videos, you should leave a cool comment, and please do subscribe, because I get new games up every day of the week, and yeah, I do it so you get some cool StarCraft to watch, and I wouldn't want you to miss any of it. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Madals, and bye for now.